Hi, and welcome to the Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele from Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. Now, if you've been following along with us, either through our live stream on Sunday mornings or our sermon videos or these Bottom Line videos, you know that we've been in this sermon series entitled Living by Faith as we look at the book of James. James is a letter written by James, who's the brother of Jesus, to Jewish Christians scattered throughout the Roman Empire. And the purpose of the book is to answer this question: how should a disciple of Jesus live? And the answer James gives, the bottom line for this sermon series, is this: that a disciple of Jesus should live each day by faith. What does that look like? That's the wisdom James shares in this book. So this past week, we looked at James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. And here, James is addressing wealthy merchants. And the problem they are making is that they are making their plans and they are not considering God's will. They're just doing whatever they want. See, God wants his people, those who follow Jesus, to take into account his will. Well, what is God's will? God's will is the work that he is doing to make his creation good again. So God created the creation good, the world good, and it's been corrupted by sin. And so he puts this plan into motion that culminates with Jesus, his death and his resurrection. And now God wants his people to join him in bringing restoration and renewal in this world. And so James says in verse 17 that it is sin to not do the good that you know you ought to do. So in other words, it's not enough simply not to sin. God wants us to do good. He wants us to bear his image. He wants us to demonstrate his character. He wants us to love people. He wants us to forgive people. He wants us to bring peace, to be peacemakers, to be generous with what we have. And in that way, we bring good into this world. That's what God desires from us. And so when we make plans for our lives, we need to consider what God's will is. How can we join him in doing good? And so our bottom line this week is this: a disciple of Jesus includes God's will in everything they do. We are constantly thinking about the good that we can do, how we can help represent God in this world. And our challenge is this: to pray this prayer: God, what is the life you want me to live? God, what is the life that you want me to live? Each day, let's wake up and say this prayer: God, what is the life that you want me to live? Thanks for watching. Remember, if there's a prayer request that you'd like me to be praying about, let me know, and I'd be glad to pray for you. I want to be able to intercede on your behalf. And remember, you can join us Sunday mornings, 10:30, here on YouTube, on Facebook, or in person here in Austin, Minnesota. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless.